4, 3, 2.
I know, you see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. Live life, breathe air. I know somehow we're gonna get there and feel so wonderful. It's all for real. I'm telling you just how I feel. So wake up, the members of my nation. It's your time to be. There's no chance unless you take one. And the time to see the brighter side of every situation. Some things are meant to be, so give me your best and leave the rest to me. Leave it all to me. Leave it all to me. Just leave it all to me.
Buns Ahoy! And this is episode 113.
You just ended up sounding like Nick from Hessian Firm. Buns ahoy.
That was the most
Buns ahoy,
thundering.
man.
That was the most thundering we've ever heard, Paul. Though
I've never heard him sound like that. It sounded like a different person. It sounded like Nick.
Yeah, I got a little soundboard.
Max yeah.
he let 113 episodes worth of rage out finally. With that,
By saying the two words together, buns ahoy.
Well, for this brutal death metal block, I had to bring it down a couple,
Octaves, yeah.
yeah.
A couple decibels.
But yeah, I'm here, Desmond Hume with Buns Ahoy and Mega Piglet.
That's me, Mega Piglet. Couldn't think of a better one.
Me either, I just took something from a
I
show.
think it's pretty good.
Who's Fred today? I
I
don't even
tried to
see.
stay in theme.
He's Buns Ahoy.
Oh, he's Buns Ahoy. I thought the name of the group was Buns Ahoy.
Hmm.
Okay, got it.
It could be.
But yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, get into some of the things that I picked up this week because it's pretty exciting stuff.
You got stuff.
Yep.
How did you find that crazy
Had,
stuff?
So first off, I got Warrior's Chalice, Unblessing, and Letra Split. Awesome shit. Go buy it at the Bunsen Burner Big Cartel.
Bunsen burner.
Hey, did you sell any other copies yet?
No, I did not.
Oh, come on.
He's gonna get to it right now in a month.
Oh,
And yeah, so buy it there, like and subscribe our thing, and there we go. If we get to 666, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll do something.
the Dark Prince is here.
I had senior pickups and I almost fell on my ass. I only have one this week, so mine will be very quick. Let's hear yours. They're a lot better.
Dude, get a load of the dragon breath.
Alright, well, besides that awesome CD everyone should buy, limited to 50, I got a Time Goal. It's basically like the compilation of their album and demo, the vinyl.
Hey, the vinyl for Time Ghoul, does it have the pre-Time Ghoul stuff on there as well?
Just
I know
has
this-
Panoramic Twilight and Tumultuous Travelings.
There's pre-Time Ghoul stuff?
Yeah, like Doom's Lyre, and they're
What the fuck?
yeah. So
Never heard of that,
when
boy. It's not even listed on Metal Archive.
when Dark Descent issued the compilation first on Digipack, it was just a 6 tracks from the 2 demo. When they issued it again on 2 CD, then there was some rehearsal tracks and stuff like that were added on. And there was I don't know if it was a demo or rehearsal, but from 1989 that had the that was when the band was still called Doom's Lyre.
Huh. Didn't know that. Never heard
I
of
don't
that
know.
shit.
I didn't know if the vinyl had that or not.
I guess not. And then I got Decolation Cursed Lands on vinyl.
That's a cool one.
Oh.
What comes in that? It does. How's the layout look for that shit?
It's like one of those ones
Underwhelming?
that just opens up. It has a nice picture of the guys and some lyrics, and that's about all it came with. Let's see. Yeah, no insert. I'll take a picture of it really quick to show you. And
That's the 12-inch.
yeah,
Is that by the Crypt?
let's see where.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Crypt.
Yeah, because this one I'm seeing on Discogs doesn't really show pictures.
There you go. I
I think
just
the
sent it.
album looks different too. The album art might look different. These guys look cool. They're all rocking the shades.
Oh, that's a nice gatefold.
Yeah. And then I got Legacies Unchained.
Oh,
Satan is strong and always near.
I
I like
love anything to do with that
Dirt Master.
bunch of bands. Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
I saw that there was two of them there. I was like, I have to get one of these.
Oh, they had two.
Yeah.
Who released that?
Oh, let's see.
Descending Towards Damnation.
Yeah, that's right.
What have they done? I don't recognize any of the other stuff that they've done. I have to say, maybe it's worth looking into.
Yeah.
I wish Dirt Master was still active. I mean, between Legacies and fucking Hail and Wormflem. Oh my god.
I like the caricatures of the two guys on the album art.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
Dirt
it's like
Master
a.
and Cut Check.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think Dirt Master is the one in the helmet, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't really know.
Yeah, with the axe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's him too.
So he's got his helmet, he's got the axes and the gauntlets, and the other guy has some sort of bone mask on, and there's swastikas in his eyes, and he has a sword. And they're like in the brambles. Pretty cool. All hail the great sperm.
Great song title. And then
Dragon City is an amazing track.
last but not
Dragon
least
City.
is Angel Witch, self-titled
Oh,
Japanese style?
Japanese from '81.
Japanese
With
dirty
an
knees,
obi.
look at these.
Yeah, the OB got a little insert with the Japanese biography in there, so that was nice to read. And then some lyrics and stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, great,
know,
great pickup. I couldn't pass that up. I was like, would I rather get this or would I want to get like a fucking reissue that's like heavy 180 gram vinyl? I'd rather get this old shit.
Also,
Yeah, no kidding.
cooler.
I know it's usually like the least popular track on that album, but I love Free Man. That's a great track.
Free Man is a good song.
I love it.
They're all good songs.
And
They
now
are.
I'm free, and I don't care.
Even the instrumental.
It was some other guy, but it was not me. Boom, boom, boom. It's a nice little ballad.
But yeah, that
White
concludes.
Witch. White Witch is so good.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Burn the White Witch.
Do 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 do.
But what'd you get, Fred?
The only one I got this
Top
week
that.
was I can't top it in terms of quantity or quality.
So
you'll-
you'll be on top.
But
this is not going well.
You'll go after me, so you'll be on top in
I
that
can-
sense.
I can top it with obscurity.
I have a pickup
So-
too, and it'll top your guys', I guarantee it.
Oh damn.
Go
No,
ahead and
well
go first,
I
though.
received the demo CD from Cursed from Canada, Behind the Curse. This is a death metal demo that is not listed on archives or Discogs, and it's actually pretty fucking good.
What year is it from?
2000
Was it on CD or cassette?
CD. It's a CDR.
What the hell is it?
So the band members, one of them wound up in Gast, GHA with an umlaut over it, ST, which is kind of like a noise, black doom kind of weird sort of thing. That
Okay.
hasn't been around. That hasn't done anything in a while.
Is it like hipster shit?
No, I wouldn't call it hipster shit, but it's just too noise centric for me.
Okay.
But the only thing that I can really tell you about it, other than that, so two things. One, the band turned into a different band called Eclipsis Mortalis, that, as far as I know, never released anything. And the credited as doing the recording is Christian Donaldson, who joined Cryptopsy 5 years later, and is still in Cryptopsy as far as I know. I messaged him and tagged him in it. I'm like, "Do you remember anything about this?" He's like, "Holy shit, I do remember. I think it was like the first recording I did."
He's like, holy
And
Canadian goose shit.
yeah, and no, it's a pretty good demo. Like it is heavily inspired by like Cryptopsy or Gorelust and that sort of more frantic Canadian band.
Brutal Canadian death metal.
Yeah, and it's got a bit of experimentation in it too.
Mm.
And the last unlisted track is like 7 minutes of like weird, almost black death doom sort of material. And I am wondering if that is a rehearsal track from Eclipsis Mortalis, because they mentioned that by the time this CD came out, they had already changed name. So maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. There's absolutely nothing about that track.
So Christian Donaldson joined Cryptopsy on the album where everybody started to dislike them. Their first deathcore effort, right?
Uh, I don't know when it lines up, but he joined in 2005.
Okay.
What's the album? What was the first album he was on? I think Unspoken King was one that
the
no one liked, right?
Unspoken King is the one that everybody hated.
Yeah.
He wasn't on Once Was Not though, which came out in 2005.
That was like
Yeah.
with Worship Your Demons or something, right?
That was where Lord Worm came back, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where Lord Worm came back. That was the one where the pestilence that walketh in darkness. That one.
Have you guys heard like the current Cryptopsy? Because I know they've released a couple albums. I haven't listened to it or to
I
them.
haven't. I heard some of the one from 2 years ago. It got a bad review on Terminus, and this newest one got a bad review from that Scale It Back YouTube guy. So as far as I know, people are not digging it. And then they've done this Blasphemy Made Flesh re-recording
With the
other
homies?
members, and people aren't digging that either. So apparently, Cryptopsy has just not been good for.
I
it
heard about
seems quite
that
a long time.
re-recording. Apparently, it's a single track, but it's a medley of parts from Blasphemy Made Flesh. But you know
I
what?
guess.
The redrawn cover looks cool, and a lot cooler than the fucking reissue that Century Media put out, which was like a sepia photo of a tipped over flower basket on a grave or something like that. It's like
That
absolute
sounds
garbage.
familiar. I think I remember seeing that reissue that they did.
It's the one I have. It's fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, I never knew what this was. I thought it was supposed to be like a grave or something. I
I
didn't
think it
quite
is. So,
understand
like,
what it was.
if you look in the middle, you see this like white pot that's tipped over.
A white pot.
It's like a
I see a
a
thing of
cylindrical.
flowers, but I don't really see a pot.
It like it's on
I
its
see
side,
some
right?
kind of. I see a cylinder over there. Oh, I see. It is a pot tipped over. It's hard to
So-
tell what that is.
Right, but like after years of staring at it, I think that's what it is. It's a pot of flowers that's been tipped over on a grave or like something like that.
On like a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a dugout hole or something.
'Cause
Yeah,
at
it's
first
hard to
I-
tell what that is.
At first, I thought it was a bonfire, but I don't think it is. I think it's flowers tipped over. Either way, it's ugly as shit. Like, I hate it.
I remember just not understanding why labels used to do that. I used to not understand that labels did that. I'm like, why does this have two covers and why is one really dumb?
Well, that one was a reissue from like,
2001.
yeah, exactly. So they had a few years for them. What was it? Fucking Septic Flesh and Horrified from Greece. They-
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, it's the worst. Necromantia too, with the the releases on Black Lotus just look fucking terrible. It's all. I
The
think
septic,
it's all
the
the
septic
guy from
flesh is
Septic
probably
Flesh.
yeah. The septic flesh reissue covers are probably the worst offenders I've ever seen.
Oh
Where
yeah,
it's like that kind of industrial gothic dude with his shirt off looks stupid.
but I think when it comes to the guy from Septic Flesh did that artwork himself. He also did the artwork, if I remember correctly, for the reissue of the Horrified album. And in terms of drop in quality, that one takes the cake for me because I have the reissue and it's just brutal. The original is
Original's great.
yeah, for Garden of Unearthly Delights. That's Geiger, I think, right?
It looks like it. It doesn't. I don't think it gives.
If it's
Yeah,
not
there's.
him, it's his style, like easily.
Yeah.
But the reissue, oh my god, it's this like 2000 fucking sepia toned
It's got the stupid face coming out of the ground.
CGI, yes, a face coming out of the ground with a barren tree in the back with a face superimposed in it, and that horrible logo. Oh my, like what did they do to this? It's such a good album too.
My boys, my beautiful boys.
What have you done to my boy?
But yeah, Dan, what's your pick that
My
overshadows
pickup.
ours?
Yeah,
It's something that I literally just picked up. I didn't even pay for it. I was at my grandparents yesterday for Sunday barbecue,
I
and
found it in the parking lot.
no, I found it in their CD bin.
Oh,
And this is obviously not theirs. This was mine at one point, but I have absolutely no recollection of it. Um,
you
it's
picked up
a
your
sam-
own item. That's awesome.
it's a sampler from that came with a Terrorizer magazine in 2011 that had Joey Jordison on the cover. And I looked it up. Apparently, it came with a fucking Corey Taylor poster. It was like a Slipknot special in 2011. I don't know if they released something in 2011, but yeah, it's a little promo from Terrorizer magazine from 2011. It has Morbid Angel on it, In Flames, The Black Dahlia Murder, Moonlight Equilibrium, Marduk Sepultura, SSS, Helheim, This Will Destroy You, Dwarves, Cannabis Corpse, Blame It
This will
on
destroy
Bud,
you.
The Soulless, Honor Your Pain, Wormrot, Psychopathic Terror, Sarah Jezebel Diva, Bloodstained
Oh,
Child,
I remember her.
and Nero Argento. So yeah, that's my epic blast from the past that I don't even remember.
Wow.
But I have it here. It's mine.
You get your
That's
A
hat
little
back too?
underwhelming. Paul expected something like cool, but that's what I have.
Oh no, you showed it in the chat.
Yeah,
That
I
is
showed it
pretty
in chat.
Did you get your hat back too?
Yes, and my grandmother called me. She's like, "Can you get Grandpa one of those hats?" So I got him one of those hats. So we got the same hat.
Matching caps.
Yeah, late Father's Day gift.
Oh, if
Those are
anyone
shit he
is
was
wondering, I will eventually get Dan to upload that cursed demo to the channel.
And that I will.
No one's wondering, but in case anyone is wondering.
And then as of yesterday, I finished Lost again for
Awesome.
second time.
Did the
Awesome.
ending change this time?
The more I liked it, I guess.
I heard a lot of people disappointed with the ending. What did you think of it?
Dude, it's awesome. People just don't understand it.
Hmm.
They
Those people are just stupid dummies.
they think they think something that explicitly is like said that it's not. Like in the show dialogue as a character saying what it isn't, and people believe that that's what it is. It's like how what is there to misinterpret?
You know, I never
And then-
understood that in Game of Thrones when they're like, "Oh my God, Daenerys went crazy and murdered people." Like, you didn't see this. What show have you been watching that you didn't see this coming?
Yeah, it was like from the beginning, but I still think them going off on their own versus waiting for George to finish it is like you're not getting the true authentic story because they're not gonna wait for that to happen. I think he's like in the middle of like the second to last book, and then he has a whole other book to like wrap it up.
Very cool. I still want to check out Lost. I think I need a couple more weeks of watching movies.
No, yeah, it's
Before
gonna
I,
take
get to
it's gonna
that.
take a while. It's like one of those ones that have like a weird consistency of like the season's episodes. Like it starts off with like 24, 25, and then it goes down to like 17, then 14, and then 17, 17.
Mm-hmm.
It's like weird episode counts, but they're all like 45 minutes to like 50 minutes, so it takes a while to get through them.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, the only thing I watched this weekend was another random Amazon movie. It's called Boyfriend School. That almost sounds like an anime, doesn't it?
It sounds
But
like something Lindsay Lohan would have starred in when she was in her drug phase.
no, you'll never guess who's in this. What's her name? Shelley Long.
Oh,
Shelley
no way.
Long is in it. Yeah, remember her, Paul?
Yeah.
Miss Diane Chambers. It's basically about her brother has cancer, and he goes through chemo. So he's this kind of like bald-headed guy, and then he meets this chick, and then he like starts working out. He gets tanned, his hair grows back, and he pretends to be some like dude from New Zealand who rides a motorcycle. And that's like it. And then she fucking she loves him. And he goes, it's me. It's Gus. And she goes, I hate you. And then like the next day they're like in love. It's a dumb movie. It was a dumb movie, but it was kind of
It sounds
cutesy.
it
It was
sounds
kind
dumb.
of cutesy. It had me at least I didn't turn it off, so it was fine. Boyfriend School. If you really got nothing else to watch that.
It was kind of cutesy.
Yeah. What was kind of funny about it is Shelley Long had a daughter who was like a mute, and her name was Piglet. I'm like, that's a good nickname, Piglet.
Yeah.
I always say
Did
Piglet anyways. I'm like there it is. Anytime I hear something like that, it's like, all right, part of the part of the
did
game.
did she start talking by the end of the movie?
She said something. I think all
Started
she could say
winking.
was, no. The only thing she could say was uncle, like uncle, something like that. She said another word at the end of the movie, but I don't even remember. Wasn't that important? I forget who the motherfucker was who was actually starring the dude. Um, I kind of want to know because he seemed like I'd seen this fucker before. Steve Gutenberg. Who the hell is that? Police Academy, Short Circuit, Cocoon. Uh, yeah. You guys ever seen Cocoon?
No.
No.
You don't know what Cocoon is, Paul?
Nope.
It's kind of a classic. It's about these old dudes who live in a fucking retirement home, and an alien cocoon crash lands into their swimming pool, like the public swimming pool where they all do their exercises.
It looks
And they
pretty
jump
cool.
in. They jump in where when no one's around, and they become like young and vibrant. Like their bodies don't change, but like they can like run around and I don't know. They become like young men again because the alien cocoon has given them energy, I guess.
Damn, I think I found a fucking thumbnail pic for down the line.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
I think I found two
What's that?
from the
Hold on.
movie.
From the movie Cocoon?
Yeah, let me just send them when I can. But yeah, it looks pretty cool from what I see. These old guys just like around the pool. Let me see. Either one of these or both.
Let me
They're
see.
pretty funny.
I forget. Oh, you know who that is, dude? That's Wilford Brimley. I think he's the one from the diabetes commercials. Diabetes.
Hmm.
I think that's who he is. Oh yeah, the stupid alien. The dead alien. I don't remember. Is he inside the cocoon? I actually don't even recall.
No,
And
I
then
don't
what was the
know.
other one? Oh, I remember that other
Wow.
face. That looks horrifying.
Yeah.
Where he's like glowing. Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
there's something.
They are something, yeah.
They're perfect.
They're perfect. These are perfect. They're perfect life forms.
Perfect for the thumbnails.
The cocoon alien, very good. Um, Yeah, besides that, I had a boring weekend. That's what I did Saturday, and then Saturday night at about 2 in the morning, I was laying in bed. I was listening to music, and okay, for context, like this summer, it's been slowing down a bit, but this summer I've been getting bit on my legs by something, what I assume to be a spider, and so
Ah, spider!
yeah, I had an spider moment. Um, so it's like 2 in the morning, and I feel something on my chest, and I knew what it was. It was a spider, and I couldn't really help myself. I just immediately went, ah! And I jumped the fuck out of bed, and like I kind of like flailed the blanket around, and I looked at my bed, and luckily enough, there was the spider dead. I smushed it, but I yelled loud. Ah!
2 in the morning.
Yeah, 2 in the morning.
So I have a
Ah,
similar story,
spider!
but it may be it may be stupider. Um, I was lying in bed. We have a ceiling fan, right?
Mhm.
And it's not unusual for my dog to jump up on the bed, hang out for a bit, and then leave. Anyways, I turn my light off, and I'm just lying. I don't have any sheets on me or anything because it's fucking hot.
It's too damn
And
hot.
I feel what I think is like a spider like skitter across my chest. It's
Fred, you're
like,
buzzing.
yeah,
Red stop
I
buzz.
am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I buzzing?
Oh, she's buzzing.
Still buzzing?
Yeah, how much you average drink, man? Let me try some. Continue.
Continue.
I don't remember what I'd said, but
You
said a
said you didn't
spider
have any sheets on you
You said a
because...
spider skittered across your chest.
yeah. So I bolted up as one does, and I turned the light
Yeah.
on. Um, yeah, there was no spider. A piece of dog fur had been blown across me from the ceiling fan. That's what I freaked out over.
Well, you were right. Your story was even dumber than mine. Because I actually killed a spider. A spider! I actually did it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
there was.
there's no thinking. It's almost like survival mode. It's like my body just shut the fuck up, and my voice just like I just yell like a caveman. Ah!
You like shot out its ears and it's like, ah, and then you smash it.
It doesn't bother me too much, but like when you're sleeping, that's like holy ground. Like don't fuck with the bed. If it's like if I'm outside and like a spider's on me or an ant, whatever, all right, just brush it off. I don't care. But like when I'm trying to sleep, like don't fuck with me.
Yeah, I was trying to go for your ears or something.
If it, well, I mean there was none, but yeah,
There was no ears.
there was no bug.
There was no bug. Last night, I also made a lot of noise because of a bug. Um, when I got home from my grandparents last night, it was probably around I don't know 8, and I noticed there was a fucking fly in the bathroom. There's a fly in the house. Okay, so I take a shower. I'm watching TV. Time goes by. It's about 11 now, 11:30 at this point, and I go into the kitchen to make me a second helping of that barbecue. And I see the fly. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna catch this fly. I know how to kill flies really well.
Jeff Goldblum in the corner of his kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys if you guys are good at killing flies or if you ever are able to kill flies. I remember when I was younger, I had problems. Like I was never fast enough to do it. You guys ever kill flies
maybe
successfully?
like 1 out of 10 I can hit.
I don't.
Nowadays. I can do 10 out of 10. I can hit all flies.
Just barehanded, just grab it out of the air.
No, not barehanded.
T-shirt?
No, t-shirt will work. T-shirt will work. What the probably the best thing you can use is like a rolled up magazine, and you have to be so fast. But I didn't have a rolled up magazine, and you have to be quick because they're gonna disappear. If you take your eyes off it, it's gonna disappear.
That's like
So-
some Mr. Miyagi shit.
Yeah. So what I did this time is I had just like a kitchen little like a little towel that's in the kitchen. You know, you guys have little towels
Yeah,
in the kitchen.
little rag, yeah.
Little rag. Yeah. So I kind of roll this thing up as if it's a like a long like a not a long whip but like a half whip, about the length of a magazine, and you have to be so fast at just smack with all force. Um, and so there's a can in my kit. There's a bag in my kitchen next to the trash can, and it's full of aluminum cans. And yeah, the fly is on the bag. And so with two hands, arms raised up, a mighty whoo swing down. I smack the can and you know you get the aluminum cans fucking making all that noise. But I killed it. I killed the fly.
I
That
gotta
was a
see
lot of
that.
build up for killing a fly, wasn't it?
I gotta see that in action one day.
It's well just do how I like I said you kind of have to go two. It can't really be one hand. You need like both hands above your head, smack down like
Damn,
you're ready to kill.
it's like a fucking samurai slice.
Yes, a samurai slice. It's a samurai slice. Because dude, they're so hard to kill. I remember I used to have so much trouble doing it, and then I'm just like I remember getting the magazine, and I'm like, you have to be determined. You like have to have the intent to kill, the will to kill, if you will. So yeah, that's how you kill flies.
You heard it
You
here.
have to want to kill. Ooh.
Well, hopefully you learned something
One
today.
last thing I can bring up. Paul, do you remember I had a conversation with you and Julian a few weeks ago where I said, this is maybe a little while ago, I said something along the lines of, what makes a brutal death metal band good? What separates a good brutal death metal band and a bad brutal death metal band? And you guys were kind of like, oh, it's the quality, it's whatever, it's whatever. But because
Nothing.
for
Hey,
whatever reason, all the stuff I've been coming across lately, all the stuff I've been coming across lately is like has been good. Everything I've been checking out has been pretty good. There's nothing I've been like, oh, this sucks. But and so I didn't have this in mind when I did an advanced search last night. But I went on Metal Archives and I searched up bands that formed in 2025 and have something released. And there's about 34 of them. And every single one I checked out like probably less than 10, but they all sucked really bad.
how
There's
so?
how so? Well, I'll describe one of them. There's a band called Protogen Cum Dumpster. What is a protogen? Does anybody know what that means?
No idea.
It must mean something because that's a lyrical theme. What the fuck is a protogen? Oh, okay. A popular fictional species in the furry fandom, known for their cyborg-like appearance.
There you go.
Uh,
Yeah, so
the
this
fuck
this
did I just
band
hear?
so this band Protogen Cum Dumpster. I didn't really realize what they were about when I listened to them on Bandcamp. All I saw was a really stupid looking album cover. But the theme says furries, memes, porn, gore, protogens, anti-zoophilia. So this is one of those. I didn't even realize this until today, but I was thinking about it, and I'm like, so this is a band who's into furries, but is anti you fucking animals. So it's like, yeah, I want to fuck furries, but not real animals. I wouldn't do that. It's one of those kind of things. No, no, not like that. But yeah, they have an EP from 2025. The album is called Busty Lugia Hose, and it's Lugia for Pokemon with big tits. And this is nothing but terrible slams. I think that might be an indicator. Uh, if a brutal death metal band does nothing but chug riffs, they probably suck. That's that's just a little observation. And it got a 2% here on Metal Archives. It says abysmal dog shit. Yeah. So yes, the answer to my question originally was yes. There is bad brutal death metal, and there is plenty of it, especially now in the year 2025.
As we are about to find out. Wait,
Well,
oh, sorry. Oh,
is
But
Fred
to,
alluding that he hates everything that we we're doing this week?
but I'll say my band did drop an album this year, and it didn't suck. At least I didn't think.
That's true. That's true.
Eat Told My Pros dropped an album on Friday, the 18th, and pretty good. From what I'm hearing, what people I've showed it to. They really like it, so that's it's a win for my books.
Ooh,
Have
cool.
you guys
Have
listened
you?
to it yet?
I have not listened to the whole thing. I only heard one song so far, but I think I've heard them all before in practice. But
Oh, it
yeah, I
sounds way
no, I know,
different.
I know. I need to. I was gonna get to it this week. So yes, I will be getting to that album.
It's on
Fred?
my list.
It's on our
I
list.
heard. I scoped it briefly, but I didn't get a chance to actually like sit down and listen to it proper.
Yeah, it's totally bringing a whole other side of screamo back from the late '90s, early 2000s. Because now it's just
Bringing
kind
it
of
back.
very I don't know, just very like J Dog says, twink core, and like playing these Midwest emo guitar things instead of actually, playing riffs and shit.
Yeah,
Um, and then just
I will.
being ultra aggressive over the top.
Yeah, all you guys are metal guys in the band, and it's got riffs. It is cool and aggressive, and nobody in the band are twinks, so
Is it
we're like
riffs for
totally lame.
days?
Pretty
Um,
much, pretty
yeah,
much.
there's all just
Okay.
different parts going on, and it's like goes from syncopated, chaotic kind of sections with like panic chords, those like really high ones, and then it goes into like some melodies that are almost akin to like some black metal shit, and then also just like grooves too. Like there's a total Vernic tongue in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I was wondering if that was a secret or not. Apparently, it isn't.
No, and then there's a what's it called, Dramarama riff in there too.
Yeah,
So
drama Rama riff.
so just you can hear those melodies. I think Julian changed up the key or whatever. But yeah, there's little things in there like that, and a lot of homage to video games and manga in there.
Nice.
And we got the dude from Orchid who does mixing and recording, mastering. Will Killingsworth to do the mix and master.
Ah,
Got the bassist Michael from Mephitic Corpse to record us,
mm-hmm.
and then
Oh,
we
cool.
got
Cool.
the lead singer of In Loving Memory, Jen, to do the artwork. I guess it was like some little doodle she had from like when she was in high school, like in the 2000s, and she just like posted it. She's like, "Oh, little doodles," and then Julian's like, "Hey, could we use that for album art?"
It looks perfect for your guy's style and for like kind of what that sound goes for.
Yeah, and then
I was wondering about that. It looks really good.
that completes our four releases with of the acronym that we have for each um, title. Just spells out hate.
Are you gonna do like sigh and then start the cycle all over again?
I don't know what we're gonna do. It's like Harakiri, Polaroids, Apathy, Today the World, Tomorrow, and Epitage of Sudden Silence. Hate. But yeah, check it out if you haven't. I think Dan said he was gonna upload it to the channel and like whenever.
Did we say that? I don't even remember saying that. I
Yeah,
think I
you.
asked Julian if he said if he was going to upload to his channel.
Yeah, and then you said, "Oh, maybe I could do it a week later."
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. I'll talk to him on Wednesday and
It'll be
see if he wants to do
there.
that.
Well, it will at least be on Julian's anyway channel, and then people are asking for physical releases. We're thinking if there's a much more like a higher demand than maybe like a whole comp like discography kind of thing, but we'll see because the ones that we made so far aren't doing so well. So
Yeah. Nobody's buying anything. What's up with that? More.
I mean,
Need to get more exposure
downturned
or something.
economy. We're in a recession, so it's not surprising.
Now that some time has gone by, Paul, that Sam Hyde Harlan Williams interview, that was probably just a bit, wasn't it?
You think so?
Probably. I mean, it almost has to be. It's too ridiculous to be real.
On whose end?
On both of their ends. I think it was planned. I think it probably was obviously planned. Because I don't know. I can't imagine Sam Hyde. It's not like I know the guy personally, but I can't imagine him acting that way at somebody's studio, like knocking over the table, manhandling them. I mean, Harlan wasn't being totally disrespectful just because like that's what he does, act stupid. So I don't know. I imagine that's a bit.
Well, he was doing that sort of stuff at Matan's, right?
Did they do well yeah, yes, but it's a bit with
Yeah,
Matan, and it's probably a bit here, I assume. I mean,
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense that something like that would happen. I think even we were talking about like the plugs were censored. I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that's what happened. But
Well, that's like is that as close as Sam nowadays has come to like normie comedy? Like guessing
yes.
on that, right?
No, he's really good friends with Shane Gillis. Like they've done podcasts together.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the closest that he's gotten to like normie
Okay.
comedy.
But yeah, like Shane Gillis is like a little what's it called? More or like less normie than like Harlan though.
Uh, yeah, I kind of see them in the same area. I don't really see one as more normie than the other. I see them both kind of as something that normal people know and people like,
Yeah, because I
as
would.
opposed to Sam Hyde. That's still weirdos even after all this time.
Yeah. Have you seen Shane Gillis's show, Tires?
No, I mean, as far I've not really delved into his stuff at all, but as far as I can tell, I don't think it's something that's for me. But maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah, it's like one of those kind of like, um, all those shows like After the Office where they're like just at a workplace and just banter and situations that happen there.
It seems a little too normy for me, but
It's pretty funny.
I'll check it out. I'll check
I
it
think
out.
I just binged it because it was like so short and the episodes were short too, so I was just able to like get through it on a lazy day.
That almost reminds me of that show everyone watched, the Bill Burr cartoon F is for Family.
Oh fuck! Did people actually watch that?
I watched it. I did. I watched it, and I liked it. But to be really honest, I didn't giggle or laugh once. But I did watch it. I didn't. I didn't think it was funny at all. I kind
Yes.
of liked the story, but I didn't think it was funny whatsoever.
Yeah, the best comedy shows are from like comedians is probably like Louis and then Curb, but everyone knows that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm on board with that because those guys are actually funny. Someone like someone like Shane Gillis, someone like Harlan Williams, when it comes to their sh- podcast shows, I don't probably not Shane Gillis from what I've seen of him, and Harlan Williams definitely not. That guy is, oh man, that comedy style is not for me. I don't get it. It's too stupid.
Yeah,
It's just being random for the sake of being random, like saying random sentences. And I see the comments. People are like, "This is comedy gold." It's like, are you just saying that?
no,
Do you
he's
actually
just
believe that?
he's just like
Fucking hate
riffing
it.
and improvising, and it's like I think his status is just what people are holding up to and just saying like, "Hey, yeah, this guy is great."
I'd really prefer if people were just honest about stuff like this and gave their actual opinions instead of like what the consensus is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's starting to bother me more about well, music too. It's like, oh, well, people like this band. You like it too, right? Say you like it. It's like maybe.
yeah, we're about to get on to that right now. Um,
Brad,
should we?
Well, hang on.
Fred is being so cryptic.
I have I have concert news.
Oh,
Oh,
oh yeah.
you went to a
Uh,
concert?
No, but I'm going to. Um,
Yeah,
so I
we'll
told you about
save
the one
that
in
for next
December of
time.
last week.
No, just kidding.
No, hang on.
No,
Dead-
hang on. Let Fred speak.
Dead Congregation.
You
They're
lucky
coming.
laddie.
Oh yeah, I saw that got
Oh,
announced. Like there's a
you
little
got
tour.
you guys too. They're coming to LA on October 10th.
Yeah, I saw that.
Are you gonna go, Paul?
I don't know. I
Do
forget
you
who
go to
the
anything, Paul?
openers were.
Caustic Wound and Cruciamentum.
Oh yeah, that's who it
Cruciamentum.
was. Caustic Wound would be sick to see.
Yeah. Toronto only gets Dead Congregation. No one else,
Damn.
which sucks. But
One band show.
And some
oh,
locals.
they'll probably be local openers, yeah.
Okay.
But we're not getting Caustic Wound or Cruciamentum or whoever the hell the fourth band is. Excarnated Entity? Is it? Or Blasphemator? Whatever. Corpus, I don't know. They're listing a bunch of support bands. I don't know which one is on this poster, but so that's exciting. And in August, I'm seeing a Canadian band called Sorguinazia. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorguinazia and Naklich and King's Rot. So that should be fun.
You've seen Knockledge twice already, haven't you?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They're fun live. They're good. I don't know anything about King's Rot, but
King's Rot. Is that 2 words?
yes.
King's Rot black metal. Oh, Tolkien.
Oh, that's
Black metal band's
promising.
talking about Tolkien, eh? Let's see. They had an album in 2021, Shadow of the Accursed.
I like.
Have you listened to these guys before, or you don't? You said you didn't know.
No,
them.
I don't know them at all.
If I'm just judging by the album covers, I don't know.
Hang on, let's look at some other covers. First album, The Shadow of the Accursed. Okay. That looks very Tolkien-y.
And so does the next
Yeah.
one.
Next one, let's see. Oh, that's a bit of a step down, isn't it? It would look fine if it wasn't for that awkward looking dragon.
Yeah, he's like.
Yeah. And there's like one wing. Where's the other?
There's 2 wings.
Where's the other wing?
It's on the
Oh,
left side.
yeah. Yeah. I see it now. All right. Oh, okay. I think I gotta pass on the wings, not so much the face, but yeah, that artwork could be better.
Yeah, Fred's been cryptic this whole time about when we bring up Brutal Death. He's like, yeah, this sucks, that sucks. I'm curious, and he's like, which one do I like? Which one do I don't like? I'm really curious. Did Fred disliked all of these, or like what's the real punchline here? I'm actually so curious to Fred's thoughts here.
Well,
So am I.
let's cliffhanger it with the break, and then we'll go right back to it.
I have to take a shit.
Dun dun dun!
Hi, Sammy. Oh, spider! Spider!
Oh my god!
Spider! Ah! Come on.
This is more bowel fuel.
All right, we are back. Dan's getting fibered up, and
I don't think cake counts as fiber.
like you said, bowel fuel.
Doesn't hurt.
Bowel fuel.
Yeah. Same old thing. But
Get on with it.
yeah, we're here, and we're gonna be covering 3 brutal death metal records,
Correct.
all different styles, and we're gonna start with one.
Different styles, eh?
We're gonna start with Ancient Necropsy from Colombia, and it's gonna be their second album, Deformed King's Mummification from '04. And I'd say that this one is probably the furthest away from like normal death metal and like a riffing style. And then you'll hear the other ones that are a bit closer or way off the mark. And yeah, so I made you guys listen to 3 different records. And what do you guys think of this first one?
I really like this first one. I'm curious. Have you heard their other albums?
I've heard the first one, the self-titled, and then I believe I heard the third one, the
So you saw
Apocalyptic
the
Empire.
the album cover for the first album where it has that like
Yeah,
slightly
The
Skull.
moving
Yeah,
skull.
skull. He's like,
yeah, yeah. It's sick.
yeah, it's kind of
Looks
sick.
it looks like a Mortal Kombat finishing move.
Yeah, it's like a skull with eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, skull with little eyebrows, like little drawn on eyebrows.
Yeah, it's like indented. But yeah, like what I could say about this band, one man band, at least for the
Right.
first couple records, I
Ivan.
believe. Yeah, and I believe in the demo he had like a drum machine or something, but then he started playing drums by the first and second album, and it's all really played proficiently, and he has like such a ear and mind for like composition in brutal death metal, where instead of like other bands where it's very like immediate and like, okay, here's the slam, here's the fast part, it's like there's more to it. It kind of reminds me of like the chasm in a bit, in a way, like where there's
I get
little,
that.
like there's different like interstitial riffs that kind of guide you to certain points in the songs. And I feel like this is probably the least Colombian sounding band out of Colombia. Um,
Yeah, in a
but he,
way.
yeah, and he was in Separation, and he did a couple.
Don't know that band. I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're Colombian from like '05.
Mm-hmm.
Um, trying to think what else he was a part of. Let's see. There's something of note. Oh, he did drums for Devoured Decapitation on a track.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a little around the scene there. Um, but yeah, what'd you guys think of this release? Dan said he really liked it.
Why do you say this is the furthest away from normal death metal out of the other ones?
Hmm. I think from Bane, it's like way more ingrained in like normal death metal. Like it's more like Cataclysm-core, brutal death. Whereas
Okay.
this one's like very like um it seems like it's not rooted in death metal. It's like rooted in brutal death metal, because the production and the playing style, the techniques that are being used throughout this album on all instruments are distinctly brutal death metal, whereas in Bane, it's a little bit more rooted in just like kind of Cataclysm Canadian, core mystic grind shit
Okay. Didn't really think of Cataclysm on that one. I thought Cataclysm more on this one.
with the
I do actually.
melodies and stuff.
With the
Yeah.
melodies, yes. As far as like the general on this album, I'm really impressed of how weird this guy and is able to take things. Like none of the riffs here sound generic whatsoever, and they all sound very, very worked on.
Yeah,
And it's surprising how many there are and how able he is to kind of just go from riff to riff, because none of these riffs are like relatively normal at all. They they almost seem random, but I don't know. He can play them. It's sort of hard to describe this thing. It's a lot different than anything I've heard before. It doesn't have any, it almost doesn't have anything to do with brutal death in a way. To me, it feels like its own thing, its own riffing style.
yeah, that's
If
I'm
that
saying,
equates.
like his own style, like it's not like stock riffs or anything. Like it's very like well composed shit. Like
Hmm.
it's all interwoven with the parts coming before and after it. And there's even like little, like they won't hit you over the head kind of slams, but they're like in there in like a sneaky way where you like kind of have to like go back and be like, oh, was that like like actual slam that was going on?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be focused on that at all. It seems to be like, well, maybe that's what kind of characterizes it in the Colombian sound, if there is one. Um, it doesn't exactly sound like the other Colombian bands, but it kind of does the same type of thing. Say like take Carnal for example, where that's just relentless riffing throughout without any breaks. That's what this is to me too. This kind of non-stop, um, strange art piece. Um, there was something else I wanted to say about this. Whatever, I can't remember. I am curious though, Fred, is this the one you did not like?
So to be clear, I did actually enjoy all three,
Uh huh.
to varying degrees. Um, this one landed second place for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I
I
figured
don't
that.
know.
Oh, I was gonna say. I figured that you will like this one a little less due to like the brutal death metal like production on this.
So that is the sticking point for me on this album, the
The
production,
production.
especially in the albums or in the albums. My God, in the drums,
Yeah, the
the
triggers.
drumming, it feels very flat and kind of textureless,
Oh, totally,
but
totally.
it kind of gets balanced out by the riffs and the guitar production. The guitar tone is great on this. I really like that.
Yeah, it is. It's
the
so
The
clear.
melodies on this surprised me how much melody there is.
Me too.
And I don't know if it's the cover and the themes, but it reminded me of Nile to a degree.
Yeah,
Totally.
definitely.
But I think that
Niall's relentless
visual,
too.
I'm not sure I might have made that connection if I hadn't seen the album cover and read the track titles. But no, this one landed second place for me. I quite like this one.
Yeah, and out of a lot of these uh, like one man brutal death metal bands, I really try to like seek out. Then there's like Peter Powell, Viral Load, uh, Medic, Vomiting Pus, and then there's Syphilic and Cemetery Rapist, and
Not really familiar with Medic vomiting pus. I know I did send that video of them playing outside of a mall or something.
yeah, it's just great Japanese like slam shit.
Yeah, it seems very slammy.
Yeah, it's good.
Is this one a drum?
Sammy Slammies.
No, this
Is
one's
this a drum machine or just like
no. He started
triggered to shit?
triggered. He started playing drums in 2000,
Okay,
and he's doing guitar since '93.
because it sounds triggered or it sounds
Yeah,
like a
the
drum
double
machine.
kicks are like way up front in the mix. Like
Yeah.
you can almost like miss the snare sometimes because of how upfront it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I figured that this kind of more modern production or like brutal death metal is like something that you kind of be wary of versus the more like raw extreme metal production instead of having something so like clear and kind of sterile. Um, is that kind of like how you felt about it?
Yeah, like the again, mostly because of the drumming and the production felt very flat,
Yeah,
which kind of hampered it, I guess. Like I'm trying to think of what this would sound like if the production values reflected something like I don't know, Deicide or the way like that kind of sound. Um, it would give it a little bit of depth, and I have to admit I don't really understand why they choose this particular approach. But I mean, that being said, production isn't always a make it or break it thing for me, and in this case, it definitely didn't break it. Again, the kind of bland production on the drums gets balanced out by the sound of the guitars, which I thought was really, really cool on this album. And just the songwriting in general, like it sounds great. Like they I say they, so I know it's just one guy, but the fact that he pulled this off all by himself to start is impressive.
It's almost like Lust the way it moves.
Yeah, it is very unpredictable, And
It's unpredictable, and it's hard to tell if any riffs even come back, and it's like which riff is important. I love
yeah,
the sheer like anonymity and like kind of just non-importance of every single part, because
yeah,
the entire thing is kind of just it just presents itself. It really isn't like it can't really present anything in particular, you know, in a weird way.
yeah. Like a lot of the brutal death metal, and not even just brutal death metal, just
I
death
said
metal,
brittle
black
death
metal.
metal.
It's all, a lot of it is, even if I enjoy it, it's predictable. You know where it's going to go before it goes there. Not the case for Ancient Necropsy. Like it,
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
would go into directions I didn't expect. So
Yeah, it's definitely ahead of the curve with a lot of like one man bands where you're mainly playing um, guitar and you have programmed drums or something going on. I believe like the only other band I can think of that I know for sure that does more like multi instrumentalist stuff is like Anal Stab Wound, um, and they're fantastic newer band. Um,
anal stab wound.
yeah, they're great.
That guy's playing shows of Malignancy right now too, I think.
Yeah, Cerebral Fusion, Malignancy. He's filling in for a lot of bands.
Mm-hmm.
Nikhil, great guy. Um, but yeah, it's like ahead of the curve because it's not only like I think I was talking about this with like the comparison with Merkvid and Total Vernichtung, where it's like it's more of like a not a riff showcase, but like a song and composition showcase with Ancient Necropsy, where they're showing like the whole picture rather than like, okay, here's like what I mainly focused and created was the riffs, and then here's the essentials of what you need to get those riffs across in a song format, like having different drum beats and then going into a transition where as this seems to be like made from all directions at once. um, and that may be due to him also being experienced with the actual drumming, and maybe um, not like the drumming nowadays where it's like super tight and like just over like relentlessly blasting, but there's a ton of technique in here where he's like gravity blasting, he's just doing regular blasting, and he has like different little beats and grooves that are kind of like abandoned nowadays in
What's
brutal
great
death metal.
about this band and like the Colombian scene in general that I've noticed is that a lot of it is quite. It's not tight. It's a little bit sloppy,
Yeah,
which is cool. I like that that being super tight is not a priority.
yeah, it's not like limiting. Like if you're like trying to get your technique up, you're not gonna be able to like reach for these things that are like beyond your capabilities, which is I think what everyone should be striving for and making music is like trying to outdo yourself, and without having that as like a limiting factor, you're gonna come out with some really creative stuff. Because even if you can't pull it off, you'll still do it in a way that at least works.
Something that's interesting about this that like again it seems to be a theme with like the Colombian bands that this band kind of doesn't do. The Colombian bands seem to have like a bunch of nonsense riffs or like fuck it riffs. This guy kind of doesn't. All his riffs are very long and meticulous, and it's like it's almost the opposite. It's like you should be paying attention or you're gonna miss something.
Yeah, it's very dense. Like
Yeah,
this
there's so much to it.
that whole scene is very dense.
Yeah, yeah.
And it has like like there's brutal death metal, and I'll say like from what you were saying earlier that it's like, oh, I haven't come across anything that's good, but it's like a lot of the stuff just isn't memorable for me, which makes it kind of just more mid and not
Hmm.
good in a sense. But like a lot of the
I get that.
Colombian stuff has like those weird like fucking melodies that you can only find out of like South America or like fucking Canada. There's something going on uh above and below the US
Hmm.
with with like melody and stuff that's kind of almost absent from a lot of like brutal and extreme metal in the
You
U.S.
know, you know how this is. You know how you know this is super original sounding, because there's only like four bands on the similar artists, and this band kind of doesn't sound like any of them.
Yeah.
Let's see who it
Eternal
is. Probably
Suffering.
Nile and shit.
Eternal. There's no Nile, but Nile would be a good one. Actually, Nile would make more sense. Internal Suffering, Suffocation, Mindly Rotten, Malignancy.
Yeah, cause
I see that, but this band has its own identity, and it doesn't even feel like it's taking from or aping from those bands at all.
yeah, they're
They all make
very.
sense, but you know.
I think the common thread between all those bands is just how technical they are.
Oh, definitely. That technical, and not just that, but like the ugly kind of technical bands.
Yeah.
Maybe excluding Suffocation to a certain extent.
What the hell's Mindly Rotten?
Oh, dude, that shit's great.
It's a Colombian crazy death metal band.
I think you'll like that a lot.
I don't like the name. What the fuck?
You'll like the band.
Maybe.
They have a classic in 2005. I don't know that it. I kind of like the 2011 one too, but 2005 is like the classic.
Interesting.
The most exquisite agonies, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are we picking tracks to play? Or I think
Paul's picking, I
Paul.
think.
Yeah,
Paul
I
should pick
got
one
them.
from each of them, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like we all do our own
Picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got them. So I was gonna start
remember-
off with
I remember the Baked Alaska Sammy stream. Somebody referred to her as Sammy Slammies.
Okay.
Shut up, Paul. Don't okay me, you pig.
Okay. We're gonna do song 3. Putrid Aromatherapy. That's a pretty funny title. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back from the aromatherapy.
What the fuck was that?
How do you remember all those riffs in sequence? How do you remember how to play any of those? How do you remember what any of those riffs sound like? Every single one is the most confusing thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like they have melodies and then it just keeps like building and building and building and like going into like a, just extending the measure of the lead. It's so crazy. Like you
There's
don't know where it's gonna end up.
there's not an insignificant amount of one count riffs
Mm-mm.
in this song.
Yeah, they
So what,
make use of that.
yeah, you said you're like, what? Where are they building with this melody? And what they did was a one count riff that made no sense into a kind of like not even, it wasn't even a slam. It was like
It
a
was just
primitive dun 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 dun
yeah.
dun. It's like what? It, it, I really like that none of the notes really like. Not only do the riffs like not predictable, but the notes within the riffs are unpredictable.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, man.
Yeah, it's very very creative, and it's what's weird is like, is this creative on purpose or is this kind of stupid on accident? It's very strange. It's weird. It's really weird. It's super cult stuff, but it's like I could actually understand why people would dismiss this. You know what I mean?
I don't see why they would. Well, why would
I
they?
think they would because the production is in almost done in a way where like it feels like a one man project. It feels like a guy in his bedroom kind of put this together, and it is sloppy, and the way the guitars mix are really like they're clear, but they're very kind of distant from each other in a strange way you don't usually hear. And I feel like it's just so confusing that would be um, probably off-putting to some people. Not for me, because I love stuff like this, but I suppose I understand where it would be maybe seen as like nonsensical to some people.
Yeah, definitely. Fred, what do you think?
I
The truth.
I really wish he would tone the drumming down because
Hmm.
the excessive double kicks kind of takes away from the whole thing. But the riffs are crazy. I really enjoy them.
You can't like you can. A lot of people say that about a lot of things, but here the riffs are actually pretty weird. We say
Yeah, they
we
are.
say that a lot. People say that a lot, but I think this is like an extreme exception where that's actually the only way you can describe them as like what what the fuck is why how do you remember that? Why did you write it like that? What are you doing?
It's technical in like such a unique way where it's doing playing with more like chromatic melodic lines more so than like chug a chug riffing or something
Yeah,
like you would hear in brutal death metal.
it almost feels like he pasted everything together. It's not smooth at all. It's like I wonder if he did that because the production almost suggests that he sort of just pasted them all together, like did different parts at different times. And I wouldn't knock him for that if he did, but I don't know if this band has ever played live. I haven't seen anything on it, but I haven't heard the other stuff either. I don't know if it's this wild and kind of unpredictable and weird, but
I'm kind of curious to see what his current albums sound like. They're still together,
I
right?
am too. I am too. Like
Yeah, I think he has
his
a drummer now.
I can't imagine his later stuff being as good as this.
Oh,
I
look,
just can't imagine it.
they released an album a year or a month ago.
Yeah.
Malicious Cybersecurity. That's a great title.
Paul, what do you think of that theory? What do you think of the theory that he might have cut and pasted these riffs together, kind of panthymonium style?
I don't know if it's like necessarily recorded in that way, but for sure like he must have come up with like the riffs first and like like anyone else would, and just sort of section parts and then laid over the drums on top of that. I don't know if it's necessarily like, oh, record here and see where it goes kind of thing. I think it's.
That's the way it feels.
I feel like
That's
it's
almost the way it feels.
I feel like it's composed that way. I don't think it's an accident.
Yeah,
I'm just scoping out the 25 album right now, and I can confidently report the drums sound like shit here too.
Ah, interesting. How do the riffs sound?
A bit more restrained, but still pretty weird.
You know something, Fred? I honestly, like, that's the one thing I'm not even paying attention to for the most part here. I really like the vocals, and I am trying to pay attention to the guitar lines as much as I can. That the drums don't even phase me whatsoever. I'm kind of not even paying attention to them. Like, when we were just listening to that, I didn't hear anything wrong with the drums. Like, it just kind of felt like it blended well for me. Maybe that's why it blends well, because everything is so, like, so just weird. The riffs are weird, and that kind of needs for the dry drumming that doesn't overpower the riffs whatsoever. You know, I don't know. Do you feel like they're overpowering the drums or what?
They're distracting more than anything.
Okay, they didn't distract me. I'll just
They
be
don't
honest.
feel organic, and
No.
they are too constant. If that makes any sense. Like,
This style of production, like, it kind of doesn't feel organic. Like, that's why I said it kind of feels like cut and paste. It feels very digital, which I don't have a problem with. But
yeah,
that's just
like
an
I'm
observation. That's just an
certain
observation.
I'm certain he recorded this on a computer because
Yeah.
as much as I like the guitar tone, it does sound very digital. Like
It sounds extremely
nothing,
digital.
there's nothing organic about it at all.
No,
But
no.
that works for it. But the
Totally,
drums kind of drown the riffs out more than I'd like them to. And that's a mix of the production choice and the over drumming.
I don't know if Paul can would agree with me on this, but it seems to me like a lot of this type of brutal death, where it's like very all over the place, it almost seems like the drums are usually overpowering the guitar. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I think the drums are like a main focal point in brutal death
Yeah.
metal, where
Yeah.
it is like just as important in a technical way in as guitar is. Where
Maybe possibly more important.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's such a feat to be able to play this sort of shit. So I think that
Yeah.
you would want it to be heard, and I think that's why a lot of this genre has such a sterile production, because the musicians want to hear all the articulation that they have on each like little fill that they're doing on the
Yeah.
blast.
Yeah.
You can hear the kind of like triplet fill on it. You can hear the gravity notes on it. You
It
hear the
makes
double kick speeding up.
it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like
Because with this production, you're able to hear all the little subtleties within everything.
yeah,
Even though kind of the the like so-called like heaviness or what people want in big production kind of lacks,
yeah,
which I don't have a problem with, but it does make sense because you kind of need to hear every little thing that's going on, and production like this really does. It helps it a lot,
yeah.
even though it's kind of alien to hear, you know.
It's
But
very
it sort of makes sense that this is like alien music, anyways, with that kind of sound.
yeah. It's extreme, not in like a way of like how heavy and how heavy it is, like you would normally hear in like let's say just regular death metal. It's extreme in like the technicality of it, for sure.
And like like the sonic identity is like important too, where it's not it sort of doesn't matter if like the guitar isn't as booming or the drums aren't as booming. It's more about
The hits and
the hits and the
articulation.
sheer like the like sheer intensity of it, kind of,
Yeah, it
rather
isn't.
than like a nice polished whatever death metal album.
Yeah, it's not muddied at all.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of scoping through
sometimes
some
muddy,
of.
but it's like in a crispy kind of way, I guess.
I'm kind of scoping through some of their other albums, and the latest album, I forget what I said it was called. That one, the drumming is right up front and really obnoxious. Like the snare drum is bonkers on that. It's like Metallica's Saint Anger. But
Yeah.
the one that came before that, which is like a 10-year break between albums, which is kind of crazy. That one sounds much more organic. And that one, you know, I pulled it up on their YouTube. They call that one blackened death metal, which is kind of interesting. It sounds more restrained. It sounds more organic. It sounds more. It doesn't sound like brutal death metal. So I don't know if this was a general direction they took after Deformed King's Mummification, because I haven't really listened to the albums in between. But the sound I'm hearing so far on Sepulchral Profanation is pretty cool. I like that. But that might just be a cop out because it's starting to lean more towards blackened death metal, and doesn't sound like brutal death metal anymore.
But you know, it does sound like brutal death metal is the next song
Another
on here.
song.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with Invoking the Brutal Death Grind Throne, which is the 9th track. And we'll be right back. Alright, we're back from the ninth song, and I think the brutal death grind was invoked.
Yeah, the throne, it was invoked. This guy takes the throne, I guess.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that song?
That one was kind of weird because like it slowed down a lot more than the other one did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot more
It's
slowdown, especially with the chug parts and the weird like drum beats at the beginning
Mhm.
too.
the drum beats
This
were weird. The slams were not exactly chugging, but they were like
Dun-dun,
not even.
dun-dun,
They were like
dun-dun,
wow
dun.
wow wow wow.
they were
I don't
chug
know.
like.
It reminded me of I forget the song by Peter Pile. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun. But yeah, and then it goes off in like its own little world on the way out. And when you think it's just gonna be 4 and done, it goes for like 6.
I This one was probably my favorite track, along with the fourth one, Sandstorm Attack.
That one's good too.
Yeah,
Fred,
that and again, I think it's supposed to be because of the drumming. They don't go into that obnoxious double kick nearly as much on this track.
Yeah,
Um,
you get it by itself with the
yeah, but you know
vocals.
what? Yeah, exactly, and that's not distracting from the riffs, right? So it kind
Yeah,
of works out in that sense. But no, I love the pseudo chugging bit. When the track comes back with the double vocals, almost
yeah, that
feels
was
like it's
cool.
a left field. Yeah, that's kind of a crazy part where you kind of do a double take like that. Did I just switch into a different track without realizing it? But yeah, no, this one and what was it, track 4, were my favorites on this one. So I'm glad you picked it.
yeah. There's like the riffing in like the middle chunk of this album was like I described it as like a tornado or twister, just like going up and down the fretboard. It was just like a swarm of bees type of riff. Yeah. I think there's also like
Yeah, like
the.
that.
I think it's also like the. There's like a technique. It's like. It's like a little classical like guitar playthrough you could do. A lot of people use it as warm ups, but this guy uses it as riffs, just going up and down the neck and across the fretboard at the same time, and it's like almost not distinct from each other, like the riffing in the middle, but then he brings it out into a more, I guess, distinct riffing in that same style. But it's like I don't know if he was just playing that same riff over and over and over and over again, or if there's like slight variations going on during that. But yeah, great track. This is definitely a standout for me, and to be so late in the album is great.
Mhm.
Dan.
I was thinking of this when I first listened to this like last Monday or last Tuesday, whatever. I was kind of coming up with the conclusion that I imagined Fred would come up with. That like I wanted to ask Fred if he like appreciates this as sort of just a crazy death metal album, like atmosphere wise and riff wise, because I feel like that's to me what I've always liked in brutal death metal. Kind of at the forefront of everything is like this is more of a continuation of just death metal in general rather than some kind of like subgenre that's kind of detached how some people think of it. I just see of it as like a continuation of death metal in like a really fierce way that's cool.
I think it. It's hard to tell because I do see them taking the extremity of death metal further, but at the same time, I don't think it's the kind of extremity that I'm kind of hoping for.
Hmm.
Uh, because the extremity and the riffs works for me in this
Yeah.
particular case.
Huh?
Yeah.
But the extremity and the drums doesn't. It sounds too mechanical, and that
You should hear the programmed
isn't.
drum bands.
I have heard some of them, and it's
Great.
worse.
I love those bands.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that Fred would like appreciate the riffing, and I guess he does. But yeah, that's that. I mean, the way I see it, if the drums are kind of a setback, I feel like the riffing in general for anybody, not just Fred, would be kind of the saving grace and would make this like a worthwhile album. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, definitely the riffs work for me, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I
and
like I
like
said, I enjoyed all three, to varying degrees of each other, but
this one's in the
none.
middle.
Yeah, this was second place for me of the three.
Okay. This one for me, I think would probably be. Mm, I don't know, man. I have a hard time choosing between um, a couple of them. Um, I don't know. I might have to.
Yeah, you can
I
probably
might
rank
have to
them
wait.
later.
Yeah, I'll rank them. I'll rank them at the end. But this one is one of the two that I liked. One of them I didn't really
Oh,
care for.
There's 3 albums
oh,
though. What the?
I know, I know. One of them I did. One of them I just didn't care for. But we'll get to that. This one is great. Yeah.
And you haven't
Okay.
heard this before. I showed you it, right?
I've heard the name, but no, you introduced this band to me. Or yeah, you introduced something to listen to. I have heard them. I've heard of the name, but I think because it was sort of deep in the Colombian brutal death stuff, which I'm pretty new to. I never really listened to this stuff before, like maybe a year or two ago. Um, so yeah, this is it's the Colombian stuff as far as I can tell, and especially this one is like sort of untapped potential. And I think that you've said before, Paul, that it seems like a lot of bands aren't really taking a page from the Colombian kind of playbook
Yeah,
as
it's
far as playing crazy stuff goes.
yeah, I'm a
Crazy
lot.
all over the place riffs.
Yeah, riffing, and I'm sure that there's bands with more extreme drumming and stuff, and
Sure.
but they just kind of take it in a more tight and precise way, and kind of losing that soul of uh, like a band, really.
Yeah, that you know what? That's a great point. I think you out of all the things you can say about this is like one thing is like you can't say is it lacks soul. It's got a ton of heart to it, and like
Yeah,
you can tell that this means something.
that's like all the Colombian scene. It's they're like you're just South American. Like I always say, like even for like Fred's picks that are South American, it's like
Hmm.
you could just like that's kind of like where like savage sort of metal lives,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you
yeah.
have so much heart out of it. And even in the brutal death metal scene, that shit's just as fucked up
I
as
think that like
Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say I think the simplest thing that why this is good is because it's interesting. That's like the most simple way to put it. It keeps you on your feet. It keeps your brain kind of wondering. It keeps your brain kind of like even wondering while you're hearing what you're hearing. And there are a number of brutal death metal albums. Like there's a ton of them where you kind of just go through an album, and like you said, Paul, like yeah, it is extreme, and but inevitably it's not as interest. It's not that interesting. Where this genuinely is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So something so simple. This is an interesting album. And
yeah,
even though it's like 20 years old now, it is still um, completely fresh and beyond a lot of things that are even going on now, especially you, Busty Lugia or whatever.
yeah. Great album. Still trying to look for a shirt. Don't know where they're
Yeah.
at.
What sounds better as a lyrical theme? Magical realism or anti-zoophilia? What would you rather listen to?
Ancient Necropsy.
hmm
All right. And with that, that was a
On to the
pretty
next.
well received
On to the
record, I
next.
think. Pretty well
Yes, well received.
received.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go going through these alphabetically. So Ancient Necropsy. Next one's gonna be Bane. Uh, Behemoths, the cathartic remnants of chaos, virtue, and time.
That's quite the
From Los
name.
Angeles.
Yeah, they're. I saw in like comments they're from actually Alhambra. Very close. I
Yeah.
guess the best band out of Alhambra because Zasser's there too. But
Okay.
yeah, insane. Uh, uh, it's like such a small like uh Sylvan Hood niche of brutal death metal that I love, absolutely love. And I guess you can sort of combine that with like the Cryptopsy influence stuff. So you get
Yeah.
bands like Cephalectomy, Appalling Spawn, Lycothea Flame, a lot of like the melodic brutal death metal. Um,
You put this as a melodic type piece.
no, just what's it called? Like Cataclysm brutal death metal in general. Like that's a lot of
Katakylm-core.
yeah, exactly what they take from Cataclysm, where a lot of other bands aren't like with out of that niche aren't really doing.
What is it about this that you call it Cataclysm Core?
I mean, just the whole presentation of it. Look at this
hmm
album cover; it's so occult, and I believe just the whole chaos of what's going on in this record is
It's pretty chaotic. It's
yeah,
relatively chaotic.
that and how it's also rooted in just like death metal riffing where Cataclysm isn't really playing like very like brutal death metal riffs at all. They're chugging here and there doing grooves,
hmm hmm
but it's all rooted in like death metal. Like it's only like a half step from like other um other bands where as we heard from Ancient Necropsy, it's like a whole staircase above of like death metal, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're thinking is the most normal, even though it is very kind of chaotic sonically.
Yeah, where
hmm
Ancient Necropsy's lying more in like brutal death metal, you can hear more influences and similarities to brutal death metal bands.
hmm
Where I hear more like death metal bands in here, like I heard Infestor,
Yeah.
Cataclysm, Suffocation in here, and let's see, there's a YouTube comment from the main songwriter of the band, so he'll give us a little insight on it. His
Oh,
name is David. He said, I wrote this music. My band kind of fell apart as people got older and moved away for the most part. The bassist actually got kicked out of the band. We all remember it differently, though, I'm sure. I don't think we were really worshiping anything at the time. We just wanted to express ourselves and our harsh realities as kids, and this is what came out with all our influences, ranging from classical music to extreme death metal. The people who were on this recording were me, guitarist, lead, David, Renteria Olvera, guitar rhythm, Reginald Galong, and bass
Reginald. Okay.
player Anton Fentonitsky, and vocalist Rocky Ruiz. And
Rocky Raccoon.
yeah, that's what he said about that. And I think it gives um, you know a really close to home sort of feeling with this record too, where it's like literally a couple towns over, and just also being like full band energy here too, is going into it and giving all their influences without sounding like a kitchen sink album. It's like very like I guess for lack of a better word, just very like Bane.
It's
uh,
cohesive. There's
yeah,
nothing here that is too like
this was
outside of what it's supposed to be doing.
yeah, this was molded by the chaos.
I think a lot of people our age forget and like younger forget that this area of Southern California had a pretty decent like brutal death scene for a little while in like let's say from what this album came out 2002, so like the early 2000s this area had a lot of stuff like that. That's where like Drew comes from, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's like a ton of bands.
Yeah, a lot of them are completely forgotten though. A lot of the bands like this were like MySpace bands and have just been kind of forgotten by time.
Yeah, luckily these guys made a couple CDs, but of course it's like $1 million on Discogs.
Mm.
I was gonna cop it, but don't have $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I really well, I've talked about it before, but I really love this album art. I like album art that is very early 2000s. It looks like it was put together for like I don't know, a video game, like a fucking PC game like
Yeah,
CD-ROM
just
cover or
very
something.
digital and like graphic art.
Yeah, I love that look. I love stuff that looks like that. So when you sent this to me, I was immediately like, I think I'm gonna like this, and I put it on, and I didn't turn it off, and I've come back to it, not even for this, but I've come back to it already like 4 or 5 times, 6 times. Um, I find it interesting. It's one of those albums where there's something new to find and appreciate each time you listen to it. I think
Yeah, it's definitely like a dense album. But
it's
like
got
I
a lot of
said,
parts. It's got a lot of parts to it, like almost glued together, but in a way that works.
yeah, and I was gonna say, but it doesn't lack that memorability. Like there's a couple songs in here, especially as it goes on. Like the first two songs are fucking like absolute bangers, but once it hits this interlude, the rest of the songs just kind of like fucking go all out, and then it's just like an interlude at the end that is just you know leaving you to catch your breath a bit.
Yeah, you know how we've talked about before. You said like you've heard me say before. I like brutal death metal, kind of in the Cryptopsy vein. That's where I put this. I put this in the Cryptopsy vein, and it also just reminds me of Wormed a lot in kind of different ways.
Well, what other bands do you say are like more Cryptopsy than Cataclysm? Because I feel like it's all in the same boat.
It is. Cataclysm, Cryptops. I mean, well, you also have like the melodic stuff, but I also kind of put that in like, okay, I kind of put Ancient Necropsy in the same boat. Like, I'll try to put it this way, the way I kind of described Ancient Necropsy too, where it's like, I like brutal death metal that has riffs, that has sort of like songwriting narrative that it feels like a maze. It feels like old death metal.
It's amazing.
Um, what's that? Yeah, it's amazing. It feels where it feels like old death metal, where it kind of keeps that vein rather than trying to be something brand new, rather than trying to be something away from death metal. Um, like I feel like if a fan of fucking Suffocation in 1991 were to hear, I don't know, say some let's whatever, some slam band, Fatuous Rump, I don't know, they would probably be like, this is bullshit, where's the riffs? As opposed to like Bane, Ancient Necropsy, Cataclysm, Broken Torso, Wormed. I feel like there would still be something for an old uh, brutal death metal or an old death metal fan to appreciate about these albums. You know, like still see it as just a very extreme death metal album rather than something separated. I think that's my favorite type of stuff.
Yeah,
If that description even makes sense, you know, it's something I just kind of equate to certain bands, I guess, certain albums.
yeah, and I'll say also the artist who did the cover art is Tony Cole. Coel. He did carnivore, dysparose, and cognitive, dehumanize, epicardectomy, gorgasm, goratory, internal suffering, job for a
Artery
cowboy,
eruption,
malignancy, future pal. He did all these great bands, but it seems like
orgasm.
this is the only album that I've found so far that is in this style. The rest are kind of like the, what you'd see in brutal death metal.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think with an artwork like that, it's trying to portray like this is not something that's typical. This is something that you need to like kind of pay attention to.
yeah, and such an awesome logo too.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like something out of like fucking Spawn or something.
It does look like something out of Spawn. Yeah, it looks like a bad guy. It looks like a fucking bad guy's lair, but it's like a logo.
Yeah,
It looks cool.
but Fred, what do you think?
Did Fred like this one?
Yeah, what is this? Where does this sit?
What
He
do
might
you
throw me
think?
for a loop and say I didn't like this one.
What do you think? I thought.
I think you liked it.
I think you liked it.
Yeah, I think you liked this most.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's pretty. It's hard to not like this one.
It is, and it's. I love the level of chaos on this, and at the same time, it's also the closest to death metal of the three. So that familiarity probably veered me more towards it.
Yeah, that's usually why I like stuff like this too.
But that's not. So with this one coming in first and Ancient Necropsy coming in second, between Ancient Necropsy and Decaying Form, it was very, very close. I wasn't sure which one would I'd like more than the other, and I said I preferred Ancient Necropsy, but the caveat is I think in the long run Decaying Form will win out as my over Ancient Necropsy, and possibly over Bane as well, because Decaying Form is definitely the most interesting of the three.
Exactly.
But as it stands, it being the most interesting did not mean I liked it the most at this point. And Bane was my favorite. The comparisons to Cryptopsy and Cataclysm are pretty spot on, even if I think this takes the chaotic moments of Cryptopsy and just plays them through the entire album, which is cool. The album cover looks like subatomic chaos, and the album kind of sounds like it, so it works well.
It kind of the way this goes through, you're expecting something epic, and like there are moments of that, but like there's kind of a lot of retard riffs in this, but there's also moments that sort of propel it into epic territory, and those parts are like so satisfying. The entire thing kind of feels that way, which is just very satisfying.
Well, shall we get to one of them?
Yes, we shall.
Yep.
I don't know if we have timestamp for this.
I added them earlier today.
Ah, okay. To the.
Oh no, I had for Decaying Form. So go on Slundry's upload of the album, and it's gonna be in the comments.
Third comment or so.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to pick the fourth song, Infestation, and funnily enough, it sounds the most like Infestor there.
Infestor.
So we'll be right back. couldn't say anything during that song. It was just so captivating. What do you guys think?
It was relatively simple, wasn't it? There was only like maybe 5 riffs in that song, and they repeated a bunch of times.
Yeah, and it was one of the like slower songs where it kind of grooves into the Infestor vibes for sure.
Yeah, the guitar tone really nails some of that Infestor kind of feel to it. The
An evil band name, Investor.
Investor. There's there's some parts that sound like there's a strong hardcore influence into it,
Yeah, I get that.
but I wouldn't normally like that, but it's not prevalent enough for it to detract it for me.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, I
think
don't think it's too far away from death metal.
there's a
No.
lot of like power chords and kind of slow down sections that remind me a lot of just like death metal riffs where the slow down parts in brutal death metal are going to be chugs, where that's kind of like absent here. And I have to say, drum performance on here is like so great. Like you can hear all these fills going
It's
by
really
like
interesting.
so fast, and all
Yeah.
the blasting and cymbal work on here is just like top notch. Great fucking performance there. And same with the vocals. It sounds throughout the record it goes into different sort of uh, I want to say um, like depths, where here it's like sounds the most like Infestor, but then you'll hear stuff that sounds more like Suffocation in later tracks and stuff. So it's a good variety of like monotone death metal vocals, if you could believe that.
Yeah, yeah. The vocals and the drums kind of make it seem like more is going on, or it at least helps. Um, it helps with the fact that there are only a few riffs, and it doesn't really it adds to that fact. Like it's that's all there is to the song, just like 5 or 6 riffs, but you
Yeah,
kind of don't even notice because everything is just the execution of everything else is just so cool.
yeah, real band shit there.
Yeah, there was
Really
that one
fills it
riff in the
out.
middle. There was one riff in the middle that like, because that song really didn't. It almost didn't feel like a brutal death metal song. It almost felt like a kind of '90s style death metal band. But I
Yeah,
mean, I think this band was around since like '94 or something, so I suppose that makes sense.
yeah. Some of these songs were made in '97.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. There was that one riff in the middle, it was like chicka, 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 down, dude. But it like it was a super. It was kind of a retarded one. That's what I was talking about. This album has like a bunch of kind of really short, kind of dumb riffs, dumb and genius at the same time. But it almost reminds me of like something that Rotrevor or Morpheus Descends would do, or something like that. Sororicide, like it's something that is that not necessarily supposed to be like technical, but it's supposed to kind of throw you off a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that this album has going for it is being able to throw you off with some of the shorter, stranger kind of riffs.
I mean,
Yeah,
Like,
speaking to
real,
to the drumming though, the mix on this is a lot more to my liking. The drums are still they're still crazy, but it's not
Fred, you can't even hear the kicks,
overwhelming.
bro.
That's fine. You don't need them in your ear the
No,
whole time.
no, you
what
can hear them.
kicks?
There's a drummer around. Watch it.
Watch what you say
Yeah,
about kicks and drum parts and stuff.
Yeah, it's all
say what I
important.
want.
It's
Say what I want.
unfortunate, but yeah, very um. That's why I was kind of saying like this is more rooted in death metal than ancient necropsy because like production wise it's night and day
Yeah.
here, and components wise along with the riffing between each band, this is more like roots death metal, where ancient necropsies, I don't know where it's rooted from, but it's definitely somewhere in brutal death metal, um,
Malignancy,
where
maybe.
that
I don't know.
guy's mind resides. And
Yeah.
The drumming here is what really takes it to an extreme, which is also something that I find in these what's it called? In these like Katakylm-core bands where the drumming kind of takes it over the top and makes it brutal.
Makes it
And
great.
yeah, in Cataclysm it does that, in Appalling Spawn it does that, Cephalectomy does that too, because a lot of those are very, death metal riffs, as we coin the term super death metal, but the intensity and aggression that the drums bring in those bands makes it brutal and super.
That makes so much sense for that song we just listened to in particular.
Yeah.
Like with a different drummer, this could have just been an old school death metal song.
Yeah, it could have been like a slow double bass groove, like.
Yeah. Well, like you said, the drums are
Important.
probably more important than anything for this genre.
Yeah. And you guys have anything else to say about that song?
The intro riff there was like weird kind of epic undertones of that like first doomy riff that kept coming back. It was interesting. I feel like I haven't heard anything that quite sounds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting song. The riffs weren't really they weren't like complicated, but they were. It's interesting that they chose those few riffs to use because there was like the first doomy epic one, then there was like a then there was something like that, and then there was that like Rotravor Morpheus Descends riff, and it feels like they there was only like those few kind of ideas, but it worked just because it was so kind of bouncy and catchy. There really wasn't room for like any maze-like qualities for that one. That one was kind of just like a song.
Yeah.
So that's just interesting to me.
Freddie, you got anything?
No, nothing more than I've already said.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and listen to the next song I have picked out, which is going to be the 6th song, Departed. And we'll be right back. All right, we're back from The Departed.
Mm-hmm.
You could say we arrived.
Yeah, I've arrived,
Boo!
What do you guys think of that track?
I think
definitely. I
the
think.
This thing
middle
on?
Go
part.
ahead, Fred's thinking. Fred, go for it.
I was gonna say the middle part kind of reminded me of Vital Remains, especially Into Cold Darkness. Kind of random comparison, but that's just the vibe I got from it. That's how it's
Maybe
gonna
not
be.
too random. I mean, it's around the Vital Remains time of like popularity. So it's not too crazy that this band would have a part like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Paul said we've arrived. I feel like I have arrived at a conclusion as far as my favorite album that we're covering tonight. It's this one. It's this one. It's Bane. Um, when Paul showed me this like what, a month or two ago, I've I told you immediately. I was like, this is awesome, and I haven't stopped listening to it. I think this is now just a classic for me. This is something I'll be coming back to forever now. It's it's just as interesting as Ancient Necropsy is. Almost more so, I think. It's more intense. I love the production on this, and I love um, all the riffing is so cool. Like all the riffs are really short. I don't know if you noticed that. They're not like long form riffs. They only last for about a second or two. You know what I mean, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're retarded, but they're genius at the same time. They just work for this kind of like very aggressive type of music that this is. And I think the fact that it's like kind of macrocosm spacey type of atmosphere makes that way cooler because it's like that's why I think that's the part that reminds me of Worms so much is that it's unexpectedly abrasive and not and more like a dunderheaded kind of way, but like a way that's almost accidentally genius. But I don't think it was an accident for this band. It's almost like I don't know they understand how to like take just pure intense simple retarded death metal riffs and make them into a epic like a hugely epic album. um I think I forget exactly how it went, the structure in the beginning, but it was like the first few counts of it kind of went into this strange like drum fill thing that like took up a count or two,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went straight into this bass thing for like one count,
Ooh.
and then there was like a pinch on the third count, and then that's what this album does. It kind of like uses the same like a root riff, and they are able to change it throughout. Like some of those parts where it was tremoloed, then it becomes kind of a chuggy thing, and like they just sort of change like that.
Yeah, and I guess that's how a lot of this stuff sounds almost samey, but it's like just getting the
Yeah,
most mileage out of a riff that you can, which is something I prefer because I just like to hear even just riffs played with different drum beats. I just like the recontextualizing of ideas, and when a band's able to do that with the rhythm of a riff and adding a different type of drumming over it, it's just like music to my ears, literally.
yeah. Like Fred kind of touched on too. I think that anyone who is a fan of death metal will really like this because it. I mean, I don't really see it's kind of like Cryptopsy, but it's not in the sense where it's because Cryptopsy honestly is like the most memorable thing ever. If you hear like
Yeah.
None So Vile, it's like you'll never forget any of those songs. This you might, but you'll get used to it as the more you listen to it, and it's like fun to kind of deconstruct everything that they're doing and like understand how they're doing it. It just feels like a kind of lost classic to me, and I just really like it as a pure heavy just death metal album. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, and
What an excellent find! How did you even find this?
I honestly don't remember. I think it was like because I was just trying to find some like Cataclysm core type bands, and I don't even know how I stumbled across it.
Yeah, it is immensely heavy and immensely like headbangable. It is just kind of a perfect death metal album for honestly we've been kind of saying for a while. It's like, oh, things are stale, things are stagnant. This kind of brings things back to a place where it's like, oh man, this is so refreshing in a way that like expands your mind. My mind is that I'm that guy on the album cover. That's how I feel when I listen to this. So yeah, A plus album. Um, Man, I really can't say enough good things about it. It is just so cool,
Yeah,
epic, heavy, simplistic, technical. Um, just cool. It's cool. Fucking everything about it. The whole package, great.
yeah. I think this is like if Infestor was like a super death metal band. It's almost like lying in between that and Cataclysm, in a way.
To me,
With
it's like Cryptopsy and Infestor like combined,
yeah,
sort
what's
of.
it called?
Sort of with like some other,
Tomato
you know.
tomatoes with the Cataclysm Cryptopsy comparison.
Um, I suppose so. I don't really, honestly, I don't see that much comparable to Cataclysm.
Really?
I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
Come on,
I,
Fred. What are you, Team Cryptopsy or Cataclysm on the likeness for this album?
I'm hearing more Cryptopsy.
What?
yeah,
All right, we'll cut that out.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really get, because with Cryptopsy or with Cataclysm, like, yeah, it's heavy, crazy death metal, but at the same time, it almost feels beyond death metal, where this feels sort of right at home as a very extreme death metal album, if
Yeah, I
that
think
makes
that's where
sense.
like the mystic grind comes in
Yeah,
with
because Cataclysm
Cataclysm, but
is they almost don't fit in a death metal category. Like, yeah, they are a death metal band, but to me they sort of go beyond that, where this kind of doesn't. And that's not like derogatory. That's just the way I kind of hear it.
yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this is more Cataclysm than Cryptopsy because I think that, like you said, Cataclysm goes like way beyond death metal,
Mm-hmm.
where Cryptopsy sits perfectly in brutal death metal, especially with the the second record.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of where I see this is like beyond fucking beyond like death metal because it's taking those roots that
Uh-huh.
Cataclysm also takes and
Yeah.
it's just playing it in such a like chaotic and also simultaneously like atmospheric way that it's more akin to Cataclysm for me at least.
I Now that you say it like that, that makes sense because the entire thing, whether you kind of get it or not, it is 100% like immersed in like drenched in atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because even just from the album art itself too, like this is way more. It seems like they're going more for the Cataclysm
They're like
line.
reaching. They're like reaching for something. Again,
Yeah,
that's not like in a bad way. That's sort of the way that this is just executed on all fronts.
yeah.
The
Lyrical
Yeah.
themes
cover,
too is like chaos. That's all fucking Cataclysm was about too. All that
I
cult
get that. I get it.
mysticism.
cover kind of reminds me of
It's some
Atheist's Elements.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding.
I
Yeah, the
could see
Samba
that.
Breeza. Okay. So,
That's that.
well, yeah. Fred, any final thoughts on this one?
Uh, you know what? Not anything that we haven't already said. This again, it almost feels like a cop out that I think this is my favorite because it's so much closer to regular death metal as opposed to brutal death metal.
How much do you
So,
like it though?
Yeah, this
Because
is
I
more
really
super
like
death metal.
because I really like this.
uh, I don't know if I like it as much as
Yeah, Fred, I don't think
as
you can
Dan.
compete with how much he likes it, bro.
No, he's he clearly thinks this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, I do. I
And
do.
there's
It's really good. You don't
well, no, there's
you
nothing
don't
wrong
feel
with
that?
that. I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I
Fred,
don't
this
think it's
is cracking your top 10 death metal records, right?
Yeah.
Right
it's
behind
definitely-
Incantation.
It's definitely cracking the top 500.
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
Is
good.
it?
There's a lot of records out there.
There are a lot of records, yeah. I imagine I've heard more than 500 records in my lifetime.
500 death metal records.
I probably. I don't know. I wonder what the number is for like death metal that I've
I
heard.
mean, I own 5,000, so
Definitely.
probably you've heard more than 500.
Okay, well then, okay. I don't know that I've heard 5,000. I probably. I don't. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't been keeping count.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Are you counting?
There's over 5,000 in my liked videos alone, and that's in the past like 2 years that I started
Also
that.
depend-
Yeah,
Also
but we
depends
know
if you're-
that's that
are you
twin
counting,
core
like-
black metal, brah brah.
There's
Are
some
you, are
tweet
you
core
counting
black metal in there,
EPs and
brah, brah.
albums all together, or like?
Yeah,
I'm
let's
just
count it
wondering in
all.
my lifetime
Releases.
how much I've listened to. Yeah, how many releases I've heard.
Not
Or
a whole lot.
How many different bands that I've heard. Just kind of a weird abstract question.
Not a whole lot.
Lots.
Maybe not.
All right. Yep, great record. And now it's time to get
Let's get jiggy
polarized.
with it.
It's time to get divisive. It's time to get interesting. It's time to mold minds.
Okay, drama.
And
Drama bomb.
Dan's
Drama llama.
Dan's brain is a Decaying Form, and that's also the name of the band. And their
What an
album.
asshole.
Wow. Wow.
Well, you said you don't like this. I'm trying
No, I
to I'm
don't.
trying to mold your mind. So it's a Decaying Form, and I gotta mold it into a healthy brain here.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Chronicles of Decimation. This was out in 06. 2-man band from Australia. Let me just give me a second. I'm gonna pull out my CD because there's like little funny anecdotes in there in the layout. So
Paul's pulling it out.
yeah, let me be right back.
Whip it out, son.
All right, I got it. But in the meantime, let's just hear the first reactions. What do you guys think?
Dan had to go pee.
Oh,
That's what I think.
all right, we're back. I didn't know we were. I thought I was gonna be back real quick, but it was at the bottom of the stack. So Dan had time to squeeze a little bit out.
Yes. Fucking squeeze. Okay. We'll not get any more detailed than that.
Yeah, the little anecdote was funny. It was just saying, we like to send a big sticky sorry to Danny at Dan's Crypt Recordings for putting up with the ongoing delays and shit, and a big thanks to Danny at Dan's Crypt Records for sticking with us till it was done, to Ed for not getting shitty, and to Simon for letting us use the studio at such short notice.
Sticky, sorry.
Yeah, that
It's the best kind.
yeah, the label from Spain, and these are some Aussie boys. But yeah, 2-man band. Don't really hear that much in brutal death metal. Besides, the only one I could think off the top of my head is like Flesh Mangled. And yeah, I think there's just a special dynamic between just a guitarist and a drummer, where there's just like so much potential and trading off that you can do, and synchronizing, syncopating, and also just going off in different directions. It's like all you really need in a band is the drummer and the guitarist, and of course the guitarist does vocals, so it elevates it even better or even more. So I think that this record is just like so unique. I haven't heard any other records like this in brutal death metal. It's almost more akin to like math grind, or like not math rock, but just some of the more like super technical shit where it's almost like every section lasts for just like a blink, and you're in like you already skipped through like 3 riffs going on, and the drums are just so interlocked with each riff that it's like we're asking, how does this ancient necropsy guy come up with this, where he's the single you know, mind behind it, where he's like, okay, I can see where the drums are going to go there, but having 2 individual musicians like just sort of locking in with each other and creating this is just like such a feat on its own. Like, it may not be the prettiest sounding record because it does lack so much low end. There's like no bass on here, just guitar, vocals, and drums. The drums aren't performed in a super tight, precise way, but it is done in such an interesting way where it comes back to the point I was bringing up at the beginning of this, where it's not so much about like the technicality and precision. It's more about just going beyond your capabilities and getting more creative with the genre and more creative with the songs, and just pushing this forward. Because '06, sure, there's bands that are super technical, and you can hear some of this kind of coming from like Disgorge, but this is done in such a way with that like weird high tone where you can almost hear like Voivod riffs going on, and like how dissonant it is, and it's just like so memorable and sticks out to me. I've only found this record like maybe a month or 2 ago, and yeah, I instantly had to buy a CD. I love the album art, love the logo, love the vocals, guitar, drums, everything about this. This is like a perfect record for me. Like, there's like no dull moments in here. Like, it just gets better and better with each song. It's such a like great find for me. And let's hear the opposite. What do you guys think?
So this was the most spastic of the 3, the least predictable of the 3. The production on this, it took some getting used to, but I actually wound up liking it quite a bit. I need to spend more time with it because I think there's more going on with it than I really realized when I was listening to it. And it just sounds sick. Like, it sounds so guttural, and the production is weird. I like the sound of the drums, I like the sound of the guitar, but they do blend together a lot. And when I was listening to it on my car stereo, every once in a while I'd have to turn the volume down for whatever reason, and I would think to myself, is this just vocals and drums right now? And that goes to your point of there being not much low end on this album. But then I crank it back up, and I'm like, okay, no, I hear it now. But it felt very choppy. I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to articulate what I heard on this because it's such a weird genre for me, and I feel like this is the weirder of the weird. But even though I'm placing it as my least favorite of the 3, I think this one has serious potential to actually grow on me a lot more and displace Ancient Necropsy. Possibly Bane, probably not, but I think it would pass Ancient Necropsy with a bit more time.
And this would be in your top 10 death metal records.
There's no question about it that it would not be, but I liked it.
As long as it's in the 500, we're good.
Yeah, probably 500. We can work that.
All right, Daniel.
Whoa, you said Daniel. You put up the mom card.
I know he did.
He is.
No,
mad at you.
that kind of just slipped.
We accidentally said Daniel.
Yeah.
He's so mad at you.
Dan, I mean.
Dan. Lieutenant
Call me
Dan.
Hanky.
Oh, Mega Piglet.
Mega Piglet.
Mr. Hanky, the Christmas bird.
Yeah, man. I mean, like when you showed me the initial two albums, Ancient Necropsy and Bane, I immediately liked them very much. I found something to kind of latch onto right away and was eager to listen to more. And I remember when you sent this to me, I was eating breakfast, I think, and you're like, check this out right now. This is great. And I kind of expected it to be something that I could latch onto sort of immediately. I'm always anticipating when Paul sends me stuff, because he usually sends me very cool stuff, and it's not too often where he sends me stuff where I don't give a fuck. But this is this is one of those cases where I put it on, I immediately didn't care, and I kept listening, and I'm like, I suppose I understand why Paul likes this, but I the style is just not for me. I don't think this sort of ever-changing techie, like almost soulless kind of thing. Like not soulless, but like riffless. I don't. It's hard for me to latch on to kind of anything, or it almost seems like this is a demonstration in like what these two guys can do together. Like they can write these songs, but it feels like that's all they're trying to do is not really write a cohesive piece. Is more, but it's more like look what we can do together, and this is like look how kind of wild we can be and weird we could be, and I feel like something like that isn't really enough for me. Um, but I will say, when I did listen to it this week, I had a bit of a better experience. I didn't really want to turn it off, and I kind of like, I suppose I enjoyed it, but it kind of just went by. Like nothing really, there wasn't anything for me to kind of love or latch onto. It was all just kind of like this demonstration of ability and like imaginative kind of songwriting, but in a way that I just kind of don't care for. I don't think it's like it's probably not bad, but it's stylistically it's just not what I'm into.
You know, I'll give you this. When I listened to this, and the enjoyment I got out of it is more in the way that I enjoy um, ambient music than the way I enjoy metal. If that makes
This is
any sense.
almost yeah, this is almost like Behold the Octopus or something. It's like
I haven't
entertaining in that way.
I haven't
Um
heard them, so can't comment on that aspect.
doodle-doo,
Um,
doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo.
but it just it felt like the entire album was just a sensory journey through disgust.
Yeah, like I only listened to this one once this week and then bits and pieces over the weekend. So I kind of didn't get too much of a full on boner. I mean, full on like
Boner.
a full on like understanding of what exactly is happening here. Um, so yeah, it's possible that my decaying form mind can be formed into something where I like this a bit more. Uh, I don't know. The only thing that I was when Paul was kind of describing this like 10 minutes ago, I was thinking this is almost like a more modern version of Namakon's The Me or something. But I like that a lot better because I don't know, that one's closer to just my taste, I think, in strange Finnish kind of rock and rollish death metal kind of, and this is more in a very modern way that just I don't know. I have a hard time grasping something like this. But yeah, that's my little spiel.
Okay.
Well, maybe Paul can explain it to us better when we listen to it.
Yeah, sure, sure. We can listen to it.
So I chose the fourth song, and then that one's gonna be devouring the infestations, emasculating self immunity, and we'll be right back. Alright, now we're all back from that song. The fourth one, devouring the infestations, emasculating self immunity. What do you guys think?
I think that's what I would have called the song if I'd written it.
Well, it goes with all their all their song titles.
Yeah, song titles or something else on this. The rapid fire vocals are kind of cool, actually. It's like if brutal death metal had rapping.
That's just Deicide. But yeah, Dan, what do you think of that one?
I definitely hear what you're talking about, Voivod. Not maybe not influence, but that song kind of didn't do a whole lot. It wasn't as kind of spastic as I remember. Some of
Yeah, it
these
all
songs
stays
being.
within like it's like what's it called? Like key or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's not like one part's like really low and one part's really high. I
Yeah,
remember this being kind of relatively high. You
yeah,
know, I think we kind of discussed. I like right at the beginning. I was like, oh, this is a riff that I kind of like because it's familiar. It's like Disgorge ish, except like tuned higher. And it is interesting. I'm especially like the it almost does feel like a thrash song in a weird way.
yeah. Like in the way Brodequin uses thrash riffs.
No, not really like them. It's kind of got its own thing going on. It kind of reminded me of not only Voivod but some of the other bands that like later thrash bands that did sort of the same spacey kind of thing, like Vector and Funeral I mentioned.
Yeah,
Um, it is interesting. I don't know how much actually take from this as far as like how much enjoyment I would get out of it. I think it also has to do with the production because the production really I really don't like the way it's produced.
yeah.
It's it's like it's like sterile and not in the way that ancient necropsy was. It's sterile in a way that like almost takes away from how intricate it is. It's like too clear and too quiet in a weird way.
Yeah, if this it's so in the high end, and the drums themselves aren't even playing really low either. It's lacking that bass in here that would
Uh
make it sound heavy, but I think that would kind of detract away from the like guitar tone in here because that one just sounds straight up like digital like DI shit.
I
Um,
mean, it might be possible if like this band just made different decisions. I personally think that if this band had a different production style and like lower tuned guitars, it would probably be a lot better, and I would probably like it a bit more. If this had production like fucking digested flesh or something,
mm,
and it was played lower, I would probably and if it wasn't so, what I don't like about it too is like when it does those stop start things, the stops take too long to like get back to it. Does that make sense?
like the drum fills.
Like no, like the pauses between some of the ching 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 ching, they take too long. They're not quick enough. I don't think.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This probably could have been something relatively interesting if it was probably produced in a different way or executed in a different way. But yeah, I mean there is some interesting and like relatively original ideas here. The style, whatever style that they've come up with, it just I don't know, it just might not be for me. But yeah, we've already kind of gone through that. Um, and I don't think I think I've said all my negative stuff, so that's pretty much out of the way. I've got a little bit of positivity in there. I said it's original. It's kind of thrashy. So there's stuff to like. I understand why you guys are into it a bit more. Um, but yeah, I am kind of curious to go through the next one if nobody has if Paul, if you don't have anything else to add here.
Yeah, I think another band that that I know you're not a big fan of, but I'm like a huge fan of that kind of reminds me of this riffing style is like Discordance Access too,
Totally.
and
I get that.
it gives like such a. It's not only staying in like just brutal death metal. It's kind of taking from like grindcore too. So it's like it's almost like a brutal death grind technical record, where there's definitely some records like that, like the Human Remains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is in the same boat, but I feel like this has a more brutal death metal feel and like aesthetic to it that takes it beyond what everyone else is doing in the genre. Because I think even with your suggestions of, having different sort of production style and being executed differently, I think that the riffs kind of speak for themselves, where they can be played in different ways but still hold that unique essence to them, where I don't know if you can get away with that with a lot of other bands, like taking away their heaviness and still being like interesting,
Dude, now that I think about it, this reminds me of the Faceless.
Don't think I've
Did
heard
you ever
that.
listen to that band?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that, but I like that. I like that better.
The Faceless better?
Yeah, yeah. Planetary Duality. That was a great album. 2008. Pretty close to this. The Faceless and this band both had albums in at the same year, 2006.
Oh my god, I remember this. I have heard this.
Yeah, they were like a techie kind of proggy deathcore sort of band, but they do with a lot of the they do it more in a like explicitly deathcore kind of way, and I feel like Decaying Form is really close to this.
I don't
In
know.
certain
I
ways.
feel like this is way, 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 way more true metal than Faceless
No.
is.
It definitely
Because
is.
their
But
technicality comes from like strumming along with the double kicks,
yeah,
where
yeah.
these guys are locking in grooves and
But
blasts.
do you understand the comparison?
I don't want to.
But you do. Just don't lie. You don't. This is the show where we don't lie. Just be honest.
I haven't listened to Faceless in a long time, so it might be comparable.
Yeah,
But I was,
not all of it. Just like those rhythmic parts,
yeah.
kind of. Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of where the true. This is more true metal than those posers. That is funny.
But yeah, like I think this has a lot more like heart and soul. Like you said, it was soulless, but I don't know. It seems like they left it all out that they could. Like from what they said, with like all these delays and shit, just trying to make this shit perfect. Like I feel like there's a lot of blood.
Soulless wasn't the right term.
You mean like mechanical or something?
No, not kind of. But what I was really referring to, what my point was, the it almost lacks riffs, and I know there are riffs, but to me there's something lacking about them.
I don't know. Like I like in that song, there's like
I'm sorry.
ton
I said
of
I wouldn't say anything more negative
ton
anymore.
of ton of what's it called? Memorable riffs in here. Like even just the intro, like, and then it goes into the more like slow down, groovier sections towards the middle. Like those are just like standouts for me. But yeah, let's get into the next one. I ended up picking. Let's see.
I'm hoping for one in particular.
Let's see. I picked 7.
That's not it.
Which one was yours?
5, Exhumed Monolith.
I was thinking that, but I was like, let's get
There's
a little get a variety in the album.
But there's a really cool, like, kind of rocky part at the end.
Like da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na.
I think I might have to boo Dan Paul even louder than Paul.
Well,
Come on, Fred. That was good. Admit
That was
it.
alright.
if it sounds
I'll
anything
give-
like
I'll give
what
that.
Dan said, we'll pick the other track. So let's go with 7, Immolated Desecrations, a Repugnant Seed, and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Boys didn't say a word. They're speechless how good that song was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do some of the, I guess, like first quarter of the song kind of remind you guys of like Necrophagus?
Uh,
I never spent much time with them, so hard for me to tell.
Oh, they're great.
I don't know about the first quarter of it, but like most of it, I guess that makes sense now that you say it. There's a lot of like.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like a point of influence for these guys, because
I would assume so. That fellow Jerry who does the Scale It Back channel, he has a theory that like a lot of bands after Necrophagus was once when they were popular, there was just a ton of bands taking that sound and kind of aping it to death.
well, that would be like Faceless, right?
Probably, yeah, probably. Probably especially stuff like technical deathcore would probably make a lot of sense. And this might make sense. I mean, what year do those albums even come out? I don't even
It's
remember.
like 0204, I think.
0204? Yeah, 99 and 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Epitaph especially. Uh, yeah. That I guess that makes sense. I mean, are they even considered they're not even considered a brutal death metal band. They're considered
There's
just
tech.
technical death metal.
Dude, they're like one of the best, though.
I like them. I know a lot of people have a problem with Necrophagus or
Dude, they're like
Necrophagus.
one of the best
I
bands.
like them. I like them. That 95 demo, which has a lot of stuff from the 99 album,
Yeah.
that's incredible. That's incredible stuff for 95. And I even
Yeah.
like the second album.
That cover almost looks like the alien from Cocoon.
That's a great cover. That frozen or that like dead guy in a bag. That looks great. That's perfect.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
hear the Necrophagus in there, as
Yeah,
well as
totally.
Discordance Access and Voivod on here thrown through. It's like Discords, but their tone got fucked up or something.
But the tone is weird. Would like Deeds of Flesh and Discords make sense at parts? 'Cause I
Yeah,
feel like those are the parts that I like the best. The parts that actually sound like more notable or more like recognizable brutal death metal.
yeah. There was a lot in here of
Yeah.
that section, of those sections where It was a lot more like slowed down riffs, and I loved the fucking in like the third of the song where it goes into this like uh, just melodic section, and then it goes into the way it goes out of it is just like using those notes in a more like necrophagus sort of way where it's dun 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 dun. But yeah. What do you think, Fred?
Much like the first track, I kind of enjoy this the same way I enjoy ambient music, in that it kind of provides a, granted, catchy but still background feel of like disgust. It's something about the production doesn't make it feel as,
Like attention grabbing?
yeah, and that's kind of how I listened to the whole thing. Like, I always felt like it was there in the background, and I liked it, but it never really jumped to the forefront quite as much as I would have liked. Uh, and that's with the caveat, like I said, that I could see that changing, and I could see this growing on me a lot. Um,
We like caveats here.
yeah, no, they're they keep things fresh. Um, but with the amount of exposure that I've had to it for the time being, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's in the background and feels more um, like it's providing a soundscape more than riffs.
Okay, well, this just spawned a great idea for another Bun Bun verse. After a couple months, we're gonna bring this album back on, and we're gonna see how we feel about it then.
Oh no!
The recap.
Honestly, Fred's recap, it made me feel the same, like the way I was actually feeling when I listened to this in full, driving around at the or at the office, going to drop off packages. It really did kind of feel like a background thing to me. Um, and I mean, I guess I can say I do appreciate the sort of experimental aspect of it. Like this feels like like I said, like at the beginning of this, when it it feels like more of a demonstration of what they can do. And if I can elaborate on that a little bit more, it feels like an experiment of an album rather than something that I would consider to be a classic or like a fully fledged piece of art. It feels more like an experimental piece to me, which I can appreciate. But that's kind of where I would place this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just my honest thoughts. You don't want me to lie to you, do you, Paul?
Lie to the listeners, at least. Yeah.
Lie a little.
But yeah, okay.
What happened? Did we lose radio contact for a second?
No, I don't think so. But yeah. So that was the third pick, the polarizing one. Fred needs more time
Yeah.
with it. Dan's had enough time with it, and I can't get enough with it.
And I can't get enough of it.
And let's get Fred's rankings now. So you said that you couldn't decide where you guys wanted to put that. So let's hear it.
I think my rankings would be what I had originally settled on, with Decaying Form in third. Um, what's the other one called? Ancient Necropsy in second, and Bane in first. And but like I said, I could see Decaying Form with more time possibly climbing ahead of Ancient Necropsy, but we're not there yet.
2 out of 3
at the end of the
Paul, for
day,
me. That's not so bad.
at the end of the day, what Ancient Necropsy doesn't have going for it that Decaying Form does is production. The production on Decaying Form actually sounds really cool. I just couldn't find memorable hooks in it yet. It's not to say they're not there, but they're not readily. They're not presenting themselves readily to me, in any case. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it right now.
Cool. Go
But I
ahead.
did like all of them.
It's very possible that my 3 picks for next week, you guys, it's possible that you guys won't like any of them, because I don't think you guys are familiar with any of them.
We're not gonna like any of them. They're not Paul picks. Come on.
No. I'm saying it's very possible. It's almost a 50-50.
I don't know.
So
Now I'm
I'm
curious.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, the Metal Wars continued, and Dan
Yeah.
Strikes Back was right now, and
I
we'll
want
say he won.
Paul to shit on my picks too. It'll be fun.
He won this one.
That's a first. This is like World War III here.
But yeah, so here we go. We had 3 different sounding records. We had let's say Decaying Form, which was like a technical brutal death metal record,
Technical deathcore record.
and we had Bane, which is more of a Necropsy Katakylm-core brutal death metal. That's along with like Pollen Spawn, Cephaloectomy, like Athea Flame, and then we had Ancient Necropsy, which was more. Like I said, I wonder if you guys understood or understand now, like how I'm saying that one's like the closest to like actual brutal death metal as we know it.
Yes. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
totally aligned there.
Yeah, and yeah, that was my 3, and some of these were more recent picks, but I just haven't gotten tired of them, and I just been listening to them over and over again, so I just thought it would be a good time to pick them now. So that's what I did, and you guys made it through the first block of the Brutal block.
Yeah, made it through the first block and feeling good. If Dan's picks don't ruin me, I think we're good.
Honestly, it's a 50-50. I'll really just have to see.
All right, well, until next week, boys and girl, we'll see ya.
Girl, singular. We know who you are. Dun dun dun. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. I didn't know we're actually singing it. I was just miming it.